Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So this is a little bit of a different video. So as a movie and series collector, I sometimes like to give myself challenges and targets and stuff like this. So you can find on certain sites a kind of scratch list of where you have certain movies, depending on what you're what you're into and what your likes and something. So let's cut to the little video here. So many of you know this is the challenge I'm going on. If you've got these from Amazon or anywhere else, you'll see that you have all these movies and you can see loads there. Obviously I have my final one to watch, and obviously my goal has been to collect all of these and watch them. So here we are. This is every single movie. So I will go through them. So Shawshank Redemption, E.T., Indiana Jones, The Notebook, Schindler's List, Halloween H2O, or Halloween, sorry, 20th anniversary, Mary and Max, Gladiator, Little Miss Sunshine and Vertigo. Next is Dark Knight, Up. It says the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so even though it's 10, it's technically 3. The Lion King, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Jaws, The Terminator, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and then Trainspotting and The Truman Show. Next, let's move these around here. As you can see, there's a lot to watch. Obviously I've watched all these, so City of God, Rocky Horror Show, Moonlight, Stand By Me, Shaun of the Dead, The Evil Dead, The Green Mile, Brokeback Mountain, The Departed, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, The Big Lebowski, The Matrix, Dirty Dancing, Favourite Back to the Future, Airplane, Rocky, The Great Dictator, Saving Private Ryan, Amadeus, Amelie, Office Space, Apocalypse Now, Jurassic Park, Forrest Gump, Mean Girls, Spinal Tap, Toy Story, No Country for Old Men, Enter the Dragon, 12 Angry Men, Fight Club, Grand Budapest Hotel, 2001 A Space Odyssey, The Silence of the Lambs, Lawrence of Arabia, American Psycho, The Prestige, Pianists, Wizard of Oz, Blade Runner, Snatch, Life of Brian, The Goonies, The Shining, Drive, Citizen Kane, Titanic, Doctor Strangelove, Gangs of New York, Clockwork Orange, Old Boy, In Bruges, Wall-E, Alien, or Aliens, but I've got a box set, Casino Royale. It says Untouchables, but it's actually Untouchables, just to change the title. Her, Lagan, Usual Suspects, Deer Hunter, Leon, Three Idiots, Groundhog Day, Memento. Even though the sticker's on, I have seen the film. Ghostbusters, American History X, Boys in the Hood, Bahala 1 and Bahabala 2, Spirited Away, and finally Casablanca, Scarface, the Godfather trilogy, the Star Wars original trilogy, 7, Rosemary's Baby, 7 Samurai, 4 Weddings and Funeral, Psycho, and Good Will Hunting. And there we go. So yes, so this is this thing right here. So this is the 100 movie bucket list, or supposedly what is rated for whoever did this, maybe off of IMDb or something, that these are the top 100 movies. My goal has been to purchase, own a copy of this, each movie, so Shawshank Redemption, stuff like this, and watch them. I say watch them, seen them, so there are stuff like Memento that you would have seen them thing, had the labels on it. I know the story, I remember the story, I watched it from a friend's copy, I bought my own copy, I've just never got round to re-watching it. But I've still watched it, and that's still classed. So as you can see here, the last is we are missing one tiny one. So unfortunately unfortunately for me, this was Bahubali. It comes in 2 films that I have recently watched. So finally on this video, we shall scratch that off. And there we have it. So that is a little cliff with a bit of rope. You will realise that obviously that probably pertains to the big cliff where the kid is dropped and what he tries to climb up in the first one. So yes, so great. I have finished this. So two things from this. First, what did I learn? So I've managed to watch a lot of good movies on this. I would say the majority of them are really, really good. There was one or two I did not like. But I've chosen 10 specifically out of these that I loved the most. There is an 11th one. So an honourable mention that I didn't get is 12 Angry Men. So this is a very old film. It's basically about a jury and having to make a decision on if this person is guilty or innocent, and there's quite a twist to it, and it's a very early, this is the sort of films I like, and it's very early, you know, you have all these different people having these different views and you never understand it, and I this kind of reflects how I am kind of as a person, and I have one view but I'm open to other people's comments, interpretations and stuff, and just to interact with them and understand those side of things, and then it sometimes can change my perspective on things, which I think that's never a bad idea. You should never necessarily be, this is my opinion, no one else matters. I think you need to be a little bit, in this day and age, be a little bit open-minded. But anyway, so there are 10 movies that I have, or 10 of these in sets. You know that some of them had, like Lord of the Rings had 3, this isn't on a list. But so I'm going to go through my favourites. So the first one is Three Idiots. So this is an Indian movie. This is almost 3 hours long. It is about these 3 lads who go to this kind of college. And it is their exploits between this college and kind of afterwards. Really, really great movie. It's subtitled, so if you're not into that, unfortunately it's not. But it is Amir Khan. He is quite famous in his neck of the woods in the world. And I've seen a few movies on this list that have him in it, but this is by far, I think, his greatest one that I've seen. And I've since from this started to watch a few other movies that probably aren't as great, but have been quite enjoyable from this. So I'm glad this opened up. So Three Idiots, definitely recommend it. Cost me about 10 quid. This was one of the harder ones to find. Next, we have Amelie. So a great movie. I had seen this and advertised this for ages, and it took me a long time to get round to seeing it. This is Audrey Tautou. Obviously she was in the Darren Brown book adaptations for the American with Tom Hanks, Robert Landis character. I think she was in 1 or 2 of them, and so I think this is really good. This is about a shy girl who has to deal with her dad and kind of her life and stuff like that, and some twists and turns, and it's great. It's not, it's rated 15. There is some older adult themes in it, I will give it that, but thoroughly enjoyed it. As you see, this is a lot of stuff that, you know, if you don't do these sort of things, you never really experience a lot of these movies. Next one, obviously, it's Back to the Future. My favourite trilogy could not go in there. Obviously, this is the edition that AJ gave me for Christmas Blu-ray, so I've yet to watch this, but I have seen the movie multiple times, so that's why it's already classed off. You know, can't beat it, one of my favourites, and that's where it sits. Next, my favourite kind of magician movie is The Prestige. Absolutely love this. I've seen this multiple times. This is one that wasn't a new watch for me, but I still think stands out on this list. The twists and the turns and all the little bits that are involved are great. You don't necessarily see it come in, and that's the whole point of this movie. There are so many elements. I mean, I know there is The Illusionist, and you know, I prefer this. That's just my personal taste. But yeah, very good watch, that one. Next one is Her. Again, a movie I'd not come across. I think it cost me £5-6 to watch. So it's a little bit harder to find. It's basically Joaquin Phoenix. He's kind of a lonely man, and he builds up a relationship with an AI voiced by Scarlett Johansson. And it's all the weird twists and turns that it takes. And I think in this day and age with technology and something, it is a very relevant movie. Did it win an Oscar? I think it won an Oscar. Golden Globe and Academy Award, Best Original Screenplay. But yeah, I'm not a massive Spike Jonze fan, but this was a great movie, great action, great acting. Next, Untouchables, or The Untouchables as it's called in this. So this is great. This was remade recently by America, starring Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart, but this is the original one. It's French, it's subtitled, and it's basically about a down and out man who is struggling for work. He comes across this job, who works for a quadriplegic person, and it's kind of the two different worlds and how they meet each other, and it is very done very well. A great movie, a bit of a tearjerker in places, but a very enjoyable movie. Next one. I consider this kind of the classic Oppenheimer, and that it's Schindler's List. A great movie. Absolutely blew me away how good this movie was. And the fact it relates to real world events and stuff that happened, you can only imagine. Very dark in places, and it's a movie, like I say, Oppenheimer, is that it's a great movie. It's not one I'm going to rewatch very often. I say I probably may watch it once or twice more in my lifetime. There's the opening side, but still a massive movie, brilliant by Steven Spielberg. And Liam Neeson is actually superb in the main role in this. So then we go to a bit of the animation side of things, and we have WALL-E. A great movie. The fact the first half an hour doesn't even have any speaking in it, and it's the WALL-E and how he interacts with the world around him and how people get lazy and stuff like this. And again, there are some things that you can kind of relate to in this day and age where we're burning too many fossil fuels and everything else and rubbish and stuff like this. But a great movie from Disney. Especially the fact I say there's not a lot of talking in it for the first half an hour and stuff. Then, because it's the last one I watched, it's Bahubali. So the beginning and the conclusion, part 2, an absolutely great epic story. Very interesting how it's done. Obviously, this is almost 6 hours, 5.5 to 6 hours worth to watch it. It is about these two brothers, but you don't know about them until later in the film. So the first one was very much 2 odd hours of you learning about the main character, and then it goes back to his dad and his brother, and then the second film kind of has 2 hours of the dad and the brother and the story of that, and then the last hour is the young lad again. So it kind of even mixes it up. Obviously the main character plays his dad and himself in 2 roles, and I really liked it. There's not much singing in that in it, because I know that's how people would assume it, like Indian movies and stuff are, but the action and stuff, and it is a bit rough in the first movie, very at the beginning, but that kind of, as you see the timeline and how a person's not used to fighting and then getting to use to how he has a power and a mission and stuff, it all makes sense and fits in. A very good movie. Absolutely blown away by how good that was. And my final one is Kaiser Soze, so it is The Usual Suspects. A great movie. This was a very early one that I watched in regards to my movie watching. So when I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of animated movies. I never watched serious films and never really took a lot in until my mid to late teens, and this was an early one. I didn't know about Kevin Spacey before this, and I could not tell that he wasn't the way he was portrayed in this film, and it absolutely blew me away, the twist and turn. Bryan Singer did an amazing job, obviously, not regarding who he is as a person, but yeah. So that has been my 10 honourable mentions of the top movie list. So, have you done this list? Do you agree with my choices? Have you not? Have you need to see them? Is this something you want to get into? I would definitely recommend it. Obviously, there are specific movies, I say The Great Dictator and a few ones that are going to cost you 10, 15, 20 pounds. So as I said, with my movies, I'm very much like a challenge and stuff. And now that challenge is out of the way, what do I do? So we will have a small video coming next week from Amazon. We have the next chapter in my list scratch off. So it is another scratch off list. Well, I'm not going to tell you which one until next week. It'll be a little like 2-3 minute video that'll pop in next week's video. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my video about the bucket movie list. What is your favourite movies and why? Have you tried? Have you done this challenge? And what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time, and I shall see you in the next one.